everyone. I am Wendy with Winds of Change Ministries, and I am doing night two of the my 40 days and 40 nights of reading the Bible. And so I'm reading from the Torah. Thank you, everyone who shows up. Please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe as well. I really appreciate it. So I am on day two of this reading. One second. All right. So let me go ahead and begin by saying that I am the author of God's Master Plan for Salvation. You can purchase this on Amazon. In it, I talk about how God put his Paleo Hebrew signature over the United States using the three eclipses that happened from 2017 to 2024. And anyway, so that is one of the things. I am going to be reading from Sword of the Spirit, not King James, but Sword of the Spirit. This Bible was it has a lot of the Paleo Hebrew, reconstructed Paleo Hebrew pronunciations, and also it has the sacred name in the Bible rather than the the Lord that most Bibles have. And so anyway, I'm going to be reading. I've already read the creation story, uh, the Noah story, right? Right here, you see my little dove. Um, I made this flag years ago, and I've already spoken about the Tower of Babel. Hello, how you doing, Paul? And I've already spoken about the Tower of Babel, and so now I am starting to read through the um, Abraham. Okay, and he takes up most of Genesis. For those of you who just popped in, if you don't mind, please hitting the like button. This marathon is an attempt to try to get my subscriptions up. Hi, I'm interested. Thank you for being interested. I really appreciate that. So, like I said, this Bible reading is going to be using reconstructed Paleo Hebrew names instead of regular names, okay? The English names. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for popping in. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Or if you'd prefer, I can go ahead and start. I can start reading. Let's see. So we've got Lulabu, Lu, Lab, Ubu, Labu. Thank you. Say my name, please. Oh, I tried, but it was so hard. Please hurry, I have to go. La Boo Boo. La Boo Boo Lover. Ha, La Boo Boo Lover. And then we have XXX and Paul Cantrell. Thank you. And Bryant Romney. Thank you so much for popping in. If you don't mind, please hit the like button so that more and more people can participate in this marathon. Once again, I am reading the scriptures for the next 40 days for with Paleo Hebrew names, okay? And so it's going to be a little bit different, but there's power in the language of Hebrew, and so when you go all the way to Paleo Hebrew, there's really some deep meanings to these names. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start reading. Let me get it open. So I am in chapter 12. Now, I use the name Yehweh for the sacred name, and that pronunciation, a lot of people use Yahuwah, and in the the Hebrew uh, movement, the Hebrew roots movement, I use Yehweh, and it's a little bit more um, like the Eastern pronunciation. It's got that in it, okay? And I've actually have spoken with a scholar. Um, he speaks 5 Semitic languages. This guy, okay? So he was really smart. And when I told him the supernatural way that God actually gave me that pronunciation, he was surprised because it was actually the true way to say the sacred name. So I will be using the sacred pronunciation of Yehweh. Okay? So let me go ahead and begin. I am reading where Abraham left his homeland and he's traveling into Canaan, which I call Canaan. All right? So, chapter 12. And Yahweh said to Abram, get yourself out of your country, and from your kindred, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you, and I will make a great nation of you. Thus I will bless you, and make your name great. Also you will be a blessing. Furthermore, I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you. And by you all the families of the ground will be blessed. Therefore Abram departed as Yahweh had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Therefore Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. Thus towards the land of Canaan they went. And Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, to the plain of Mamre. And the Canaani were in the land then. And Yahweh appeared unto Abram, and said, unto your seed I will give this land. And there he built an altar unto Yahweh, who appeared to him. And he left from there to a mountain on the east of Beit El, house of all. Then he pitched his tent, having Beit El on the west, and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yahweh, and he called in the name of he who exists. Then Abram journeyed, still going towards the south. But there was a famine in the land. Therefore Abram went down into Mitzrayim to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was close to entering into Mitzrayim, that he said to Sarai his wife, behold, now I know that you are fair to look upon. Therefore it will come to pass, when the Mitzrayim will see you, that they will say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save you alive. Say, I pray you, that you are my sister, so that it will be well with me for your sake, and my soul will live because of you. And it came to pass, when Abram came into Mitzrayim, Then the Mitzrim beheld the woman, for she was very fair. Also the princes of also the princes of Pharaoh saw her. Then they praised her before Pharaoh. Thus the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house, and he entreated Abram well for her sake. Thus he had sheep and oxen and he asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses and camels. However, Jehu plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, the wife of Abram. Therefore Pharaoh called Abram and asked, "What is this that you have done to me? Why didn't you tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I might have taken her unto myself to wife? Now behold your wife, take her and go away." Then Pharaoh commanded men concerning him. Thus they sent him and his wife and all that he had away. All right. So that is Mitzrayim is Egypt, and Abram, Sharai is Sarah, Luth is Lot. All right. Do we have any questions for me? Thank you, La Boo Boo Lover, for still being here. If you do have, oh, you want me to say goodbye? Okay, bye. Thank you so much for stopping in. Be sure to hit that like button, okay, before you leave. I appreciate you, Lu Boo Boo Lover. All right. So let's see. All right. I'm going to go ahead and read the next chapter. That is um, chapter, let me get it up again. That is chapter 13. All right. Chapter 13. And Abram went up from Mitzrayim, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Luth with him, into the southern territory. Furthermore, Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. Thus he went on his journey from the south, even towards Beit Al, to the place where his tent had been in the beginning, between Beit Al and Ai, unto the place of the altar which he had made at first. And there Abram called in the name of he who exists. Also Luth, who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. However, the land was not able to bear them, such that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Moreover, there was strife between the herdsmen of the flock of Abram and the herdsmen of the flock of Luth. Also the Canaanite and the Perizi dwelt in the land then. Therefore Abram said to Luth, "Let there be no strife, I pray you, between you and I, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me, I pray you. If you take the left hand, then I will go the right, or if you take the right, then I will go the left." So Luth lifted up his eyes, and he beheld the entire region of the Yarden, that it was very well watered, everywhere before Jehu destroyed Sedum and Amorah, like the garden of Jehu, like the land of the Mitzrayim, as you come to Tahar. Therefore Luth chose for himself the entire region of the Yarden. Thus Luth journeyed east, and they separated themselves one from the other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Luth dwelt among the cities of the region, and he pitched his tents towards Sedum. However, the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinners before Yahweh. Then Yahweh said to Abram, after the separation of Lut from him, now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward, and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see, I will give it to you and to your seed forever. And I will make your seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then your seed will also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the width of it, for I will give it to you. Therefore Abram removed his tent. Then he came and dwelt in the region of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and there he built an altar unto Yahweh. All right. I do have some interesting things to say about this. Oh, Lububu lover left me. Thank you, Lububu. You have a great day. Now, so Abraham, he ended up resting in the land of Hebron. In most Bibles, it's pronounced as Hebron. Okay, and it is from this location that they got the Jews got the name Hebrews. Okay, Hebron, Hebrew. Okay, that's where the name comes from. It's not most places they got their name from the last name of their parents, like Mitzrayim. Okay, Egypt. That got its name from an actual descendant of Ham. Ham. Okay, so that's how they got their name. But Abraham, uh, he did not. He comes from the line of Shem and Eber, Aiber. Okay, and and it means from the region beyond. That's what Aiber means. Okay, and so in the book of a little bit later, when Joseph comes into the picture and he's in Egypt, they actually say in Hebrew scripture, you can see that they call him, they say that he comes from Eber or Aiber, okay? But in the English books, they call it Hebrew. It's not, uh, it's Aiber. Okay, they were trying to create the illusion of consistency, but their bloodline was from Aiber and Shem. However, they get the name Hebrew from the land that Abraham settled in, and that is Hebron. All right, that's where the Hebrew comes from. All right, so if anyone has questions, please feel free to post a question. I'd love to respond to it. Also, if you don't mind, please click the like button. It really helps other people get this message. Okay, and I'm doing this 40 days and 40 nights of reading the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Old Testament, as just a way to you know, to speak, to build a foundation. You know, there is, I've in my interpretation, Sword of the Spirit, there is a lot of hidden wisdom and truth, and I will try to discuss that as I go through with anyone. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask, okay? All right, so I'm going to move on to the last chapter of the night, which is chapter 14. Um, you can catch me again in the morning. So this is 40 days and 40 nights of reading the Bible, and I'm focusing on the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. And you can catch me at 7 o'clock in the morning Central Time or 7 o'clock at night Central Time. All right. So here we are in chapter 14. One second. Okay. Chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Aprael, king of Shinar, Aryuk, king of Elasar, and Kedor Laomer, king of Elam, and Tigdal, king of Guyim, that these made war with Bera, king of Sedum, and Bersha, king of Admah, king of Amurah, excuse me, Sinab, king of Admah, and Shemaber, king of Zebuyim, and the king of Bala, which is Zoher. All of these were joined together in the valley of Siddim. All of these were joined together in the valley of Shiddim, which is the Salt Sea. So there were 5 kings of that region, which is Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamia. For 12 years they served Kedorlaomer. However, in the 13th year they rebelled. Then in the 14th year Kedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and struck the Rabbaim of Ashraut, Karnim, and the Zuzim in Ham, and Imim in Shaveh, Kiriathim, and the Kuri in Mount Shair, unto Ai Paran, which is in the wilderness. Then they returned and came to Ain Mishpah, which is Kadesh, and struck the entire country of the Amaleki, also the Amori, who dwelt in Hazektim Tamar, which when they went out, the king of Sedum, and the king of Amorah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zebuyim, and the king of Bala, and the king of Zohar, then they joined battle with them in the valley of Shiddim, with Kedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of Guyim, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Aryuk, king of Elasar. 4 kings were against 5 kings. Okay, so basically this is a big battle, which involves Sodom and Gomorrah, that whole region, which is like the southern area of the Jordan, which is where Luth, settled. And so the 5 kings in the northern part of the Jordan, up in the Fertile Crescent of ancient Mesopotamia, they traveled down, and they called it the King's Way, okay, because there was a lot of people, a lot of kings in this huge battle. It was one of the biggest battles of ancient history, recorded history, okay, and they fought against the 4 kings down there, which was Sodom and Gomorrah, Zohar, and a few others. But anyway, let me go ahead and move forward. Furthermore, the valley of Shiddim was full of slime pits. Also the kings of Sedum and Amorah fled and fell there. Then those who remained fled to the mountains. Therefore they took all the goods of Sedum and Amorah, and all their victuals. Then they went their way. And they took Luth, the son of the brother of Abram, who dwelt in Sedum, and his goods. Then they departed. However, someone who had escaped came, and he told Abram the Aiber that for he dwelt in the region of Mamre of the Amori, the brother of Ashkul, and the brother of Aner, and these were allied with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and they pursued them to Dan. Also he divided against also he divided himself against them by night, he and his servants. Then he struck them and pursued them to Gaba, Guba, which is on the left side of Demeshek. And he brought them all the goods also his brother Luth, and his goods were returned, including the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Kedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him at the valley of Shapweh, which is the valley of the kings. Furthermore, Melchizedek, king of Shalom, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High All. Then he blessed, saying, Abram is the blessed of the Most High All, possessor of the heavens and earth. Also, the Most High All, who has delivered your enemies into the hand, is blessed. Then he gave him tithe of everything. Moreover, the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the people, and take the goods unto yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto he who exists, the All, the Most High All, the possessor of the heavens and earth, that I will not take a thread or even the strap of a sandal. If I take all that is yours, will you not say I have made Abram rich? Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Aner, Ashkul, and Mamre. Let them take their portion. All right. So that is it for tonight. I read 12, 13, and 14, the early years of Abraham as he traveled or as he settled in Israel. And he kind of wandered in and out of Egypt a couple of times. And we'll get more into that tomorrow. But so yes, I I will be back at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to read a few more chapters, and then 7 o'clock again tomorrow night. So thank you so much for participating in this reading of the Torah marathon. Please be sure to like this video, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. All right. Thank you so much for participating. I love and appreciate you all. Bye bye.